Israel's military has seized control of a key border crossing in Gaza. It's released images of what it says are tanks rolling into Rafah in the south of the Strip, which is a vital crossing point for humanitarian aid coming via Egypt. The incursion has cast new doubt over whether a deal can be done over a proposed ceasefire with Hamas, which is considered a terrorist organization by several countries. Despite that, an Israeli delegation is heading to Cairo for talks.
After a night of celebrations, Palestinians wake up to a familiar reality. Israeli tanks converge on the key Rafah border crossing, the Israeli army saying it's taken control of the checkpoint's Gaza side. In the city of Rafah, people are searching for bodies under the rubble following deadly Israeli strikes overnight.
Heavy gunfire, very, very heavy bombardment. With planes, rockets, tanks, machine guns. Never in my life have I seen this. I'm almost 69 years old. In my life, I've never seen bombings like this.
On Tuesday, Israel dropped leaflets over Rafah, urging residents to leave parts of the city for what it calls an expanded humanitarian area. The order putting many displaced Palestinians on the move again.
Now they're saying to evacuate from Rafah. Where should we go? Han Yunis is ruined. What is left? They ruined our lives. There's nothing left. There's no safety and no home. There's no one but our God.
We don't know where to go. Tell us where to go. Is Al-Mawazi and Khan Yunis a safe place? Are there tents? Is there water? Is there electricity? Is there food and drink? Is it a safe place? Gaza now has no safe place. We're on the move with our children, and we can't find safety. Where are the Arab countries to see us, to empathize with our children?
The news of Hamas accepting the ceasefire was met with joy on the streets of Gaza on Monday evening. But hours later, Israel's attacks stopped the celebrations.
Well, for more now, let's cross over to journalist Karim El-Gouari. He's in Cairo, Egypt's capital. Karim, what are your sources telling you about the situation in Rafah?
Well, I just viewed the material our local cameraman sent us from the Gaza Strip, from people running away from Rafah and trying to find a place. It's really utter despair. Many people were displaced at least half a dozen times, some even more. They're running out of money. They have no idea where to go. And so really, I would say that the nerves are on edge of people there. And it's, of course, no wonder, because there was this hot and cold showers, really. If you think about the last 24 hours, first leaflets were dropped over their houses telling them they should leave because it will become a combat zone. Then in the evening, they were celebrating on the street because they thought the war is over after Hamas agreed to a peace proposal from Egypt and Qatar, only to realize that it's going on, that there was a heavy bombardment last night in Rafah, and now we have Israeli tanks rolling in parts of Rafah. All this is really leading to a very, very desperate situation for people there.
Now, the Egyptian Foreign Ministry warned today that Israel's operation in Rafah risks undermining ceasefire efforts. What do we know about the truce talks that are apparently going on now in Egypt?
Well, we know the Hamas delegation arrived in Cairo. We're still waiting for the Israeli delegation to come. It's interesting because originally the Israeli side, they will only send a delegation when there is a done deal to sign it off. Now they're sending a delegation to negotiate. There is still a lot of open questions. I think we have a three-phase proposal on the table, which also includes in the second phase some kind of agreement for a permanent ceasefire. And that is, I guess, one of the stumbling blocks we have right now. So we have to see if this negotiations here in Cairo will lead to something. I think the Israeli side goes with a double strategy, keeping the pressure on Hamas by moving militarily into Gaza and at the same time negotiating here in Cairo.
Meanwhile, the humanitarian situation in Gaza continues to deteriorate. The Rafah and Kerem Shalom crossings are now closed. Relief agencies are warning that humanitarian aid for Gaza is being choked off. What are you hearing about the humanitarian situation in Gaza now, Karim?
People are panicked because not only the Kerem Shalom crossing is closed and it was opened and closed in the last days, but now the direct opening that was not under Israeli control from the Egyptian side, the Rafah crossing, is also cut off. So people don't know what's going to happen. We know there was by far not sufficient aid deliveries before these two main crossings, where most of the deliveries came through, were closed. We know also that for commercial goods, since these both are closed, prices are doubled in the last hours. So again, people are panicked. They don't know what's going to happen next, and they really, really hope that these talks in Cairo will have some kind of outcome.
Karim, thank you very much. That was journalist Karim El Gouari in Cairo.
You're welcome.